welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest episode of Game Rivals. I'm one of your hosts, Maximilian X, and with me, as always, is the talented, the oh so grand finale, the nominee for Streamer of the Year for the Game Awards. Good grief, Sean Templar. How's it going, Sean?
I'm good. Thank you for that intro. Just to be clear, I am not a nominee for Streamer of the Year.
Oh, he's just being shy.
No. It would be kind of crazy if I got nominated, but yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. A little bit more mellow. Although you probably wouldn't tell by my intro.
No.
I've had a mellow couple of weeks in terms of gaming. In terms of gaming, but we'll get into news because that is a whole thing, different thing, separate, and kind of really grinds my gears to a halt. But for the rest, I'm good. I'm healthy. So can't complain about that. Work has been fun. So yeah, I've also had a surprisingly reasonably balanced work schedule lately, so it allowed me to stream more, or well,
That's
not
nice.
more, just frequently,
That's nice.
and consistently. Although my tagline is like streaming randomly, random games, and we'll get into in what we've been playing. But suffice to say, uh, it's been weird.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah. All right. So I do want to jump into the news. But before we do, I do want to bring up a little thing. Um, for the podcast, so people listening at the beginning will actually hear this. So we started posting bi-weekly questions with the podcast when it goes live. If you're specifically listening to this on Spotify, you can always answer the question of the podcast. And if you answer it, we might actually read it. Well, not might, we will read it on the following episode. So please feel free to answer this week's question, which you will hear at the end. So, speaking of which, let's just jump right into it. And uh, you know what? It's not
Let's
been light on news.
let's save the Activision stuff for last.
I wasn't gonna start with that.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I was about to say that. But the news that has come out, like
Yes.
there's been a lot of games being released, of course. But again, we can't play everything because we're just two guys. And gaming costs money, and gaming costs time,
Yeah.
and those are two things that are very limited to us. So, um, but we do play the games that are interesting, and we tend to talk about it. So let's talk about a game that I think both of us were fairly enthusiastic about when it got announced. But after it being released, it's like, because I did you pick it up?
No, I didn't.
Because I did not pick it up, and I'm kind of
No.
glad I didn't.
I still want to pick
Also,
it up, but
I can't bring myself to pick it up because
but like
I want it on the Switch,
yeah, but
and
it
on the
looks
Switch
poor
is
on the
like
Switch.
it's the most broken on Switch.
Yeah, but like
Not to say that
the funny thing is
no,
for people that don't know, we're obviously talking
yeah.
about the GTA remasters. And so
Yeah,
basically,
no,
what
no.
happened?
Say the full title.
I don't know what
Say
the
the
full title
stupid full
is.
title.
I don't know the full
The
title.
full title is Grand Theft Auto: The Trilogy Definitive Edition, and
Well,
really hang on that definitive edition.
you know how they came up with that name? I don't. I'm just speculating right now, but they probably hired the
Machine
guy.
generated.
No. They probably hired the guy that came up with the name Xbox Series X because that name
Right,
was
because he
great.
lost. Yeah, because he lost the job, so he got a
Yeah,
job at
yeah.
at Rockstar to name it. Oh, good
Yeah.
grief! Yeah.
But so the thing is that it came out on all platforms that are known to man, just not on mobile, but it's coming to mobile soon as well. And so
That's gonna be fun.
the funny thing is the game has been made by the people that made the mobile ports for GTA, all the three, and they basically took those three games as a foundation, and then they kind of went through Unreal Engine with it. But apparently, they used a lot of AI upscaling, and if you
Yeah,
use
a
AI
lot.
upscaling, you don't know what's going to happen because it's an AI that does it for you. So like besides, I mean, like in some parts the graphics look really nice, but people are complaining about the rain effects being too intense, causing the game to look too dark. And then you just, even with HDR on, you can't see anything.
Oh, the rain effect is broken.
Yeah,
Like
or
the way they implemented rain makes no sense.
yeah, because it's
Like
basically like a dome around the character that's pouring
and
rain.
it's locked to the camera.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like it has like the world has no impact on
yep,
the rain effect.
yep,
So if you're turning the camera, the rain effect is still the same.
yep,
Brings exactly the same spot. It has no effect underwater,
yep,
which makes
and
absolutely no sense. But that's because it's like it's basically like it's a rain filter.
yep,
That's what it is.
yep. And
It's
besides that, they've so for example, one of the things is draw distance. So with the PS2 versions, they limited the draw distance, creating the effect of
illusion.
illusion that there is some stuff in the
Yeah.
background. But now, because there's far more horsepower in these consoles, they increase the draw distance. But now it looks so bland and empty, and that whole magical effect, which was caused by a technical limitation, is now gone, and it's actually even worse.
Have you seen San Andreas like from a plane?
No, but yeah, I have, and I've
It's
also
literally an island.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
literally an
yeah. You
island.
can see the end of the island, and it's like, well, this is weird.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be a landlocked city,
Yeah.
landlocked bunch of cities.
Yep. And there's of course loads of bugs in it. But the
Oh,
other day they released a patch. They, of course, Rockstar apologized and they released a patch, and they said they're committed to making it a great game. So they're gonna do more content updates. And I saw
we
the
haven't even.
patch notes, and
Yeah.
it's like a lot of stuff they fixed. So I was like,
Oh, they're going to be patching this game for a
yeah,
long
but
time.
like the funny thing is that there's a huge list of issues they fixed. So I'm like, the game's only out for a couple of days. So either you had really good people scouring the internet to find out what was wrong and listening to the players and fixing it, or you already had the patch ready. Because I mentioned this like way before, that Rockstar, there was this rumor that Rockstar played this game where they willingly release something broken, and then they say, "Hey, we're gonna fix it," and then they release a patch and it fixes it all, and then the fans are like, "Oh, but Rockstar listens to us," and purely to get that they listen to us within the fans, they do it. And I mean, it sounds plausible at this point. I mean, the developers have done
Yeah.
crazier shit. So um,
I don't know if that's true in this case. Okay,
I'm
I'm
not
not
sure,
sure if
but
that's true
it sounds
in this
plausible.
particular case. It does sound plausible.
Yeah,
The thing that I want to bring up here is that this release wasn't just like really flipping bad. The
yeah.
fact that the launcher was down for almost, I want to say, 2 days. Like
For the PC,
if
yeah.
for PC, like you if you bought it on PC, you can play it on PC. And I think they only finally now released the PC version.
Well, they
I want to say,
re-edited the PC versions last week, but they've
yeah, because they
also,
had to remove a bunch of stuff from the
yeah,
PC version,
yeah, and they,
including files that allowed you access to like the hot coffee mod
oh,
and like soundtrack stuff that they don't have the license to anymore. That was still in there for some reason, and
they
a bunch of other stuff.
they also added the older versions, like the original versions of the game, but only through the Rockstar launcher. So you can,
Yeah.
because they removed it from all storefronts. But now,
Yeah,
if
I
you want to
know.
play
It's
OG San
stupid.
Andreas, you can do it through the Rockstar launcher. You need to buy it
Yeah,
from their store.
and the ones that bought the PC version get it for free.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
like,
they kind of have to since they basically made it unplayable for PC for a really long time.
yeah,
Like
I
2 days
remember.
is a long time in PC time.
I remember in the days that San Andreas came out on PC, I actually used to mod that game a lot, and I would get like these real brand cars in it, or you would have these. I had this mod that would turn Grove Street into like a military base, and then the whole gang would be like a military faction. It would be so crazy. You could do like loads of stuff on the PC. That was really fun. Um, I do
Yeah,
miss them.
unfortunately, they're banning that kind of stuff. They're sending
Yeah,
cease and desist, which, oh my goodness, even that makes less sense
Yep.
Because the only reason why they're doing it is because modders do a way better job at upscaling the
Yeah.
game
Yep.
than like developers that they've given like lit. I honestly legit feel like they gave him 6 months to port those games.
It really feels like that.
It's
Like,
why they use all that like
yeah, yeah,
machine
yeah,
upscaling.
yeah. Because otherwise, why would you do that?
I
It,
mean, sure, like for certain textures and stuff,
yeah,
fine, perfectly fine, but
yeah.
you have to fix what the machine learning can't
Yeah, there's this
understand.
really clear difference which I saw between in Vice City in the video show somebody showed. That was like there's this mission where Tommy is wearing a police outfit and you're doing the mission together with Lance, and Tommy's outfit is a high resolution, suitable texture and outfit. Lance's outfit is still like it looks like the old PS2 version, so like really low poly, really low texture.
Not even the PlayStation 2 version, the mobile version. Don't
Oh,
like
even that, yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, it looks
just
horrible. But to be honest, I mean, they're playing into everybody's nostalgia feeling, and
oh,
I,
absolutely.
I want to play these games. I just don't want to play them right now because of all the technical issues. I mean, like I saw the performance analysis done by Digital Foundry. Even in performance mode, the game doesn't hit 60 FPS consistently, even though you have this huge amount of horsepower. And the PS5 version has issues that if you put it in performance mode, it forgets to turn off all of the quality mode features. So you get
Mhm.
quality mode with performance mode, and then that mixes
And
up the
that
frame rate
barks it even
completely.
more.
Yeah,
Do
it's like
you know which version surprisingly does run mostly smooth at 60?
the Series S version, I believe.
No, that
No.
one is also kind of borky. No, the PlayStation 4 Pro version running
Oh
in
yeah, that's
in
right.
backwards
That's
compatibility
right. Because
mode.
Digital Foundry said download the PS4 Pro version and play it in back. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's just
because
so
it'll run it
stupid.
at PlayStation 4 Pro mode. The
Yeah.
only thing you're not getting, I think, is the resolution.
Yes, the high
So
res
you
textures
won't.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I think the PlayStation version does not have um, performance mode or fidelity mode. So it's essentially running like a version of performance mode
Yeah.
on PlayStation 4 Pro, but it runs it at mostly 60 frames per second.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
And
And they'll
it
probably
takes
fix
away a
it,
lot
but
of the frame pacing issue, which is where basically the bottom because it's like a multiple versions wide issue. It's
yep.
basically in the code the frame pacing issue
Yep.
because it's on Switch, it's on PlayStation 4, 5, and all the Xboxes.
Yep.
So I I hope that they fix the frame pacing with the update. I don't know. I haven't checked the
I didn't see anything about that, but that they're gonna do multiple updates, so they'll probably do that in a later update. I mean, the
yeah.
Switch version looks. I'm surprised that the Switch version looks
The
that
Switch
bad.
version should not look that bad at
Yeah,
all.
because it's a mobile processor, and I mean, I have 3 and Vice City on my tablet, and it looks really good. So I'm surprised that it looks that bad on the Switch because I'm like, yo, but that's a mobile processor. It should be able to do it.
I mean, at best they could have just ported like literally the mobile version.
Yeah,
But the fact that they ported the mobile version, which I don't know what engine they used then, but they ported it over to Unreal, so everything needed to be redone essentially in
yeah,
Unreal.
yeah. The
And I
original
think that's where
version,
it kind of kills it.
the original version runs on RenderWare, so I don't know if RenderWare if they use that on mobile as well. So
I don't think Renderware was ever ported to mobile.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, but
All I
yeah,
know is that
let's hope they. There's this crazy rumor going around that there are Easter eggs in the definitive edition hinting towards GTA 6.
oh, for
Uh,
Pete's sake.
yeah, so I'm like, people just stop it. I mean, people are so desperate for news around GTA 6. That stuff is not happening anytime soon. I mean, 2025, at least, you know.
Yeah. Ah, for
If you
Pete's
want
sake.
a good open world game, probably buy the new Saints Row that's coming out next year.
Ooh, which got delayed. We didn't even put that in the news.
Did it get delayed?
It got delayed till like I think summer. Hang
Oh,
on,
I
let
didn't
me
know
pull
that.
it up real quick. Yeah, gosh darn it, it got delayed. Yeah, hang on. Let's see.
Oh, I didn't expect that one to happen because it was coming out early next year.
It was coming out in February,
Yeah,
in the very packed February.
maybe that's the reason why they delayed it.
Nah, they said that there were yeah, it's oh even further. It's like August.
Oh damn.
August 2022. Yeah, so it had a release date for February. Gosh darn it, Polygon. At least give me the gosh darn date. February 25th.
Okay.
So it got delayed till August. It doesn't have like a fixed date in August just yet.
Okay.
Just like they said that they needed more time to polish and COVID, and they're taking in the feedback from like fans from when they showed it off at E3,
Yeah.
and they also acknowledged the fact that they got a lot of like feedback on that people were not happy with like the art style and
Yeah.
the direction they were going with it. So they're taking that into account, or they took that into account, but um at the same time, because of like tough working environments and stuff like that, working from home is not easy. They kind of they admitted that they underestimated like the strain that puts on the team, and they don't want to overwork the team. So
Mm.
I'm assuming that they mean they don't want to crunch the team, so they're just giving the team more time to like get the game done properly.
The funny thing is, I would expect them to be more productive at home because at home you can just zone out and just go at it. Because I know that some developers said that people working from home were even more productive.
Yeah, I mean, there's being more productive, but then there's also trying to make sure that none of your family members accidentally leak stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably part of the reason, and the other part of the reason is probably also has to do with confidentiality with dev units.
Yep.
You don't want to accidentally do something with a dev unit where someone gets to it or something or whatever, or other. Because I know for a fact that at least back in the day, like Nintendo, like GameCube and Wii dev units, like were especially GameCube was really they were Nintendo was really strict with the dev units
Mm.
and how they were accessed, especially when it came to uh like game journalists. Like if they had to preview a game, especially if it's a magazine, they have to preview it like months in advance. So I had to send a dev unit with the game in it. And at least with the GameCube and with the Wii, they had it in like this lock box, or
Yeah.
like in this like thing where they put it on the desk so that it's locked and they can't access the game within it.
Damn.
And that's how they previewed games, at least. And I think like review copies, they just get like the final review copy, but
Yeah.
for like previews they had to like, and there was like a
I
rep
I
there.
understand that. Yeah.
So
The
I would
PR
not be
ninja.
surprised. Exactly. So I would not be surprised if the same thing happened with like developers themselves.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, at least they're getting some time, and that's fine. And they moved out of a very. But I watched a Inside Gaming like weekly. That's where I found out about it, and they
Hmm.
showed the release list of February. Oh my god! I think I saw like at least 12 to 15 games.
Oh damn.
February is packed, yo.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to Horizon Forbidden West.
Elden Ring is out for February.
Oh damn.
Forbidden West is February. I don't even want to know what else is in February because it's
I wouldn't be
actually
surprised if
kind of
Breath of the Wild comes out in
horrifying.
February.
Nah, no. Do if they announce at the Game Awards that it's coming out in February, everybody's boned. But I don't think that. Like, you know what? Nintendo doesn't care. They probably would do that.
Yeah, I mean that this time around, I don't think that the Horizon game will suffer from it that much because Horizon's built a name, and it's probably one of the most anticipated games besides God of War. So, like in this case, PlayStation fans wouldn't care; they would just buy it regardless.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't want to release an Xbox game in February. That's got to be like you wouldn't want to release Halo in February.
No, so it's a good thing that's coming out in December
Yeah,
when everybody gets some time off to play video games. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure a lot of people like took time off to play at least the single player, but the multiplayer caught people off guard. Well, kind
yeah.
of caught people off guard. So I'm pretty sure not a lot of people were able to like specifically take time off to play it, because I think on the day of or the day before, I don't know, I don't really remember when, but it was rumored that the multiplayer would release on the 20th anniversary
Yeah,
of Xbox. And lo and behold, during the 20th anniversary celebration video that premiered on YouTube and whatever, they announced that the multiplayer was going live at that point right away. So it's
Yep.
still technically the beta, and it fully releases on the same day as the single player game, which is I think December 6th
I think 8, something like
or
that.
8th. Yes, December 8th. That's when it like goes out of beta, but like season 1 of the Halo Infinite multiplayer started on that day.
Yep. I haven't
Um,
played it yet, but
there,
I've heard great
there
stories about
there
it.
have been some balancing issues apparently in terms of like leveling the what do you call that again with
The
free to
battle
play
pass.
games, the battle pass,
Yeah,
and
I
they
think they
started
fixed that.
tweaking it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was too
I mean,
grindy.
yeah, it was way too grindy. Apparently, it's like, oops. Yeah, I mean, they're used to making multiplayer that is just included with the game
Yeah.
with no like battle pass and microtransaction yada yada yada
Yep.
attached to it. So I get it, right? So it's balanced for something that you pay for, not for something that is free to play.
Yep.
Yeah, so they just rebalance it, and that should be good now. I don't know. I've heard like a lot of people being like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good. Why on earth would you play Vanguard multiplayer or Battlefield 1942,
2042.
not 2042?" Gosh
Yeah.
darn it, I made the same mistake
It's okay. It's only a century apart.
again. But yeah, I mean, uh, yeah, that's crazy. They
Yeah.
just put it out there, and people are really loving it. I mean, except for the battle pass, but they are fixing it, or they started fixing it, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna continue tweaking it. Um, for the coming weeks
Yeah.
until December 8th
Shit. Yeah,
and
this stuff
beyond.
is always fluid. Yeah.
Yeah. Way to go, 343 Studios, though.
Mm,
Nothing but respect. Yeah.
yeah. It's
I
good
mean,
they
I'm not a
delayed
big
it.
Halo player. The only thing I'm kind of bummed is that it's not available uh, um, on Xbox Cloud Gaming,
Oh.
because then I would have been able to try it out.
Yeah, I know that they announced that the co-op is, of course, not available at launch. But I read the other day that the co-op campaign might not come out until May next year, which is a very long time.
Wow,
Yeah.
because previews for the single player have gone out,
Yep.
and from what I've heard from those is that the way the world is structured kind of requires the co-op. Like
Yeah.
you can do it single player, but you can tell that you'd probably have a way better time if you're playing it in co-op.
Yeah. I heard that the it's a semi-open world, or it's like the levels have open world elements. But I think in one headline was like all the levels stitched together feel like an open world, but it's not. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's just a big sandbox you can play in, which is nice. But I mean, the original promise was that it was an open world game, and maybe because of time and COVID and all that sort of stuff, they had to scale it down. Um, I won't be playing it until the co-op comes out because I always enjoy those games in co-op. So I'll just have to wait till May to play it.
I wonder if they're gonna do 4-player co-op. I'm assuming they would because I think since Halo 3 you could do 4-player co-op.
I can't remember. I always used to play with one buddy.
Okay, because I do remember playing like legendary mode with 4 people, like me and my best bud and like 2 randos, which I don't even know how we did that with like randos in there, but sure. I think it was like kind of like online jump in co-op something, so that you could look for
Hmm.
like someone's playing co-op, you could just jump in and join. But I never finished Halo 3 in co-op because I wanted to beat it with my friend in legendary mode, but legendary mode you can only beat um am I saying that right? Legendary is I think the highest difficulty with
Yeah.
Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can legit only beat it with 4 players.
Oh
Um,
wow.
you can do it with two, but then you're gonna have a bad time and die a lot.
I have a friend that does that alone, but he's like a crazy Halo player.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely insane.
Yeah, he's also a person that plays all the Mass Effect games, all the Dragon Age games, and I think all the Witcher games often. So he's like finished those games. Like whenever he's bored and there's nothing to play, he just fires up one of those games, and then he sends me a message. And he's like, "I'm playing Mass Effect again."
Oh, oh, bless his heart.
Yeah,
At least he's playing the good games, you know.
yeah,
Also, they're mostly all RPGs, so I don't know how that translates to Halo Legendary, but sure.
yeah. I don't know. When you're
Yeah.
bored.
Yeah, well, when you're bored, you start making lists, and then when you make lists, you start nominating stuff. And
Yeah, and it's funny that
yeah,
we in the last episode
we talked about
we
this.
talked. Yeah, we talked about, like, I don't know if it was during the recording or offline
Yeah,
that we
I think it was during the recording.
yeah that I was like, I don't know what my game of the year is, and I think you had something similar, and then
I
like
still don't know what my game of the
me
year is.
neither. And the funny thing is, I've been looking around on the internet and talking to friends and people, and like everybody's like, I don't know what my game of the year is.
Here's the thing, though. It's not like not for a lack of games either.
No, but
It's
it's
not for a
like
lack of games. It's just
there's no
there have been a
wow
lot of
game.
there have been a lot of consistently like decent to like really good games,
Yeah,
but I don't think there's been one game that everybody rallied behind and said
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. And I
there have
mean,
been multiple games that people are like this might be a contender,
yeah.
but not like oh this should be game
Yeah,
of the
like for
year.
example, last year I think it was Hades last year,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and that, I mean,
Everybody rallied
that
behind
was clear
Hades.
cut. It was like,
Yeah,
definitely Hades, yes, no doubt, this is it, And I kind of missed that this year. And I mean, like, maybe it's because I haven't played all those games. I mean, I haven't played Ratchet and Clank, I haven't played Kena, I haven't played Deathloop besides like 2 hours. So like
yeah.
those could be, I know that some of them are nominated in certain categories, but this year's been just a weird year for me because I've just like mostly been playing old games. Maybe it's because I have a digital edition PS5 and I just don't want to spend $80 on a game, that I'm like, I'll just be the economical consumer this time around instead of being the greedy consumer that I'm always, and I'm just buying everything and then never finishing it. But like I've basically been playing all sorts of old games, and I really don't mind. It just feels satisfying to finish those games.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have to buy every new game. I think, yeah, so you don't have to buy every new game. And I think that's one of the reasons why Game Pass really speaks to me as a service.
yeah.
And like I said, when Halo comes out, I'm probably gonna get the Game Pass Ultimate so I can play it on the cloud because that is available on cloud.
Just not the multiplayer.
The multiplayer is not available, but the single player is.
Ah, okay, that's nice.
Yeah, the campaign is,
Nice.
which is great because then I only have to pay €1 for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a strange year. I don't know why, but like, if you look at the nominee list for Game of the Year, it's
Yeah,
Deathloop,
let's
it's
yeah,
yeah, it takes two, it's
yeah.
Ratchet and
Also, Son of
Clank,
Game.
yeah, it's Ratchet and Clank, it's Resident Evil Village, which I do not understand. I mean, like, really, and then there's another game I'm forgetting.
Metroid Dread and
Oh yeah,
Psychonauts 2.
yeah, Metroid Dread and Psychonauts. I think Psychonauts 2 has a good chance to make it because it's like a unique game. But
So that's my thing, right? Because the same with the exception of Metroid Dread, I haven't played any of the other games. I really still want to play It Takes Two because I've seen streams of that and it
yeah,
looks like a lot of fun.
yeah, me too. Yeah,
Honestly, I almost feel like we should do that someday.
yeah, sure.
We should definitely stream that because I think we'd have like it would be an absolute blast to play that on stream.
Yeah,
Whenever I see people playing on our stream, it is a fun time because you have people just like arguing and stuff,
yeah. I mean, I had that
actually
with
turning into a married couple.
A Way Out. I played that with a colleague of ours, and there's something that happens in the end. I won't spoil it, but like
No,
when
don't
it,
spoil it because I'm still planning to play that.
yeah, yeah. So that's why I'm not spoiling it. So like something happened, and uh,
You okay, dude?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so like there's something happens at the end, and then when that happened, I was like, shocked that it happened, and I just kept saying that to the colleague like multiple times. Like, I can't imagine you did that. I mean, like after everything we went through, I cannot imagine you did that. And like sometimes I still bring it up. It's like you hurt me in the deep. You hurt me like no one else could. I still cannot get over what you did. And he's like, oh, what do you want me to do? It's just I had to do it. I had no choice. I said, you always have a choice. He said, no, I didn't have a choice. I had to do it.
Oh man. Oh,
Yeah,
that sounds like fun. Yeah, like our mutual friend Robin,
yeah.
RB Gaming, really wants to play the game with me. So I just need to figure out some time so that we can actually play it because he wants to do it on stream.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, like if I look at this like game of the year, if we go back to the game of the year list, it is these are solid games.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would doubt that these don't deserve the nominations. Although apparently there are a bunch of people that are poo pooing that Metroid Dread got nominated, which feels more like people that didn't play Metroid Dread are like poo pooing it. Because if you've played Metroid Dread, it is a solid game.
Yeah.
There are some like level design choices that I don't really agree with,
Hmm.
but as a whole package,
Yeah.
it's a very solid game. Like
Okay.
the from start to finish. It has like really cool boss fights, challenging ones, but you can always overcome them. Like it's all about um, learning the tools that you get along the way and mastering them. And that is just that's something that you don't see that often anymore. Especially when it comes to like 2D games. And this is a 2.5D game, but it's still like it's Metroid. It's like it's from the same ilk as Metroid Fusion, Super Metroid, OG Metroid, and Metroid 2. It's that game philosophy, but brought to the modern era.
Okay.
So like it is very solid. I don't know. I will have to check it out later as to why people are like poo pooing over the fact that it's Game of the Year. Um, but honestly, I don't see anything wrong with it being nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Personally,
I don't. I'm not surprised it got
out
nominated.
of out of playing it myself.
Yeah.
If I didn't play it, I'd be like, oh, maybe they have a point, but I played it. So
I'm not surprised it's nominated. So I'm just surprised Resident Evil is nominated.
yeah, okay. Seriously, like, why is it weird for you that it got nominated?
So like, it's a game that came out at the beginning of the year,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's a good game, but it's not game of the year material. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh, Lady Dimitrescu or whatever it's called, step on me, mommy," and like that's fun and all. But I mean, like personally for me, and maybe that's like I'm old school, maybe, but like I expect if a game gets nominated for Game of the Year, that game has some sort of impact it makes, or it rallies people, or it creates promoters out of people. Like people are like, yo man, did you play that game? And like, no, I didn't. Oh, you need to play that game right now. And then you're like, okay man, I'll play it. And then the person plays it and then texts you back and says, oh shit man, I should have played this before. It's kind of like that effect. I mean, like I can imagine with Deathloop, because Deathloop came out of nowhere. It surprised everybody. And I can't imagine that with something like Ratchet and Clank, because it's just a beautiful game that uses the dual sense and it shows off the power of the PS5. Like everybody's like, this is a Pixar animation movie. You need to play this. Or with It Takes Two, it has that unique co-op experience. Like because those types of games are basically not made. I mean, like I heard a colleague and he said, like, I'm playing this game with my wife and we're just having a blast playing this. I'm like, that you see, that's cool. But
Yeah.
Resident Evil, vampires, mommy, step on me? No, that doesn't rally people. That's like that only rallies pervs.
Oh, come on. All
No,
right, but here's the thing with Resident Evil Village, and that is like it's still being played. Like it's very popular on streams. Like if you want to like garner like a huge following,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that if you stream Resident Evil Village, your like viewership would increase.
I wouldn't say that out
Especially
loud.
you because you're a scaredy cat. And
Ugh.
you'd probably be like, "Oh
I had a
no!"
few
But
moments with Days Gone.
I know. I
Yeah.
was
Oh shit.
there.
Yeah.
The horde gonna get you. You
Oh,
get a
that was
kitchen.
horrible. That was horrible. I'm so happy that's behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can see why it got nominated.
Yeah, I mean,
The fact that it was still being talked about to this point is the reason why it got nominated.
probably.
Plus, the whole Lady Dimitrescu thing is literally just like I think the first couple of chapters,
I have no
and
idea.
then once that's gone, it's like the other bosses in the game. So, like,
Mm.
Lady Dimitrescu doesn't really take up like a huge chunk
Oh,
of the
I
game.
thought she's like there till the end.
Nope, nope. You take her out,
Spoiler.
not super early, but early enough.
Oh, okay.
Put
That's
it
a
that
shame.
way. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you think it's a shame the way you talk about
Yeah. No,
it.
but like I've heard everybody like, and I'm like, oh, okay, she must have been there the whole game, you know?
Yeah,
No, okay, that's too bad.
yeah. I mean, there. I don't know. Do you want to talk about the other nominations? Um,
Nah. There's
I mean,
one in
there
the
are.
indie category, Death's Door. I think that one's gonna win that category because that's like I've heard a lot of people
Really?
talk about that game, and it's kind of like flown below the radar. But I've seen streamers being like really enthusiastic about it, and like let's be honest, if you're a big time streamer, normally you get paid to talk about games because you get a code and then you just fake it till you make it, unless the game is really good and then you play it, you know. But like otherwise, it's like just paying the bills. Oh, I need to talk about this game, so let me talk about this game. But I've seen like other streamers genuinely keep on playing that game and say, "Whoa, this game is really good."
Yeah.
So
It was
yeah,
also a highly anticipated game for consoles. I think it's out now on PlayStation 4 or 5.
I don't know. I know it was a PC release initially.
Yeah, it was an initial PC release, and then it recently got released on consoles.
Yeah,
Yeah, like people are really. I didn't even hear about Death's Door until like the last state of play. This was
yeah,
shown off in the last state of
yeah.
play.
Which was a horrible state of play, but we shall not speak of that.
Oh, I almost forgot. Actually, I did not put it there because I kind of don't care about Riot games. But Riot actually released a whole bunch of games, or announced a whole bunch of games, and Shadow dropped a bunch of games
Yeah,
from
I
their
remember
Riot
that.
Forge publishing arm.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. So what is it? Hextech Mayhem and the gosh, I don't know what's the other game called. The something something King got released on like multiple platforms, but they initially announced it in a Nintendo slash Riot Forge announcement, and then
Hmm.
they showed the trailers for like that it's multi-platform.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's four games, two others that are still in development. I don't have that for me right now, so that's so bad. That is so very bad. Hang on, let me see if I can find it real quickly on Polygon, because Polygon's got stuff. But yeah, I mean, they that kind of surprised me. Was that I think they announced it like last week, and it completely flew under my radar because again, I'm not a Riot fan. Although I did watch what's it called again? Arcane on Netflix.
I heard it's great.
The It is surprisingly good. The Ruined King. It's an RPG. That's the one I was talking and Hextech Mayhem is a rhythm game.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then there's a platform. What's it called? What's an action platform? A 2D action platformer called Convergence, and another game, Song of Nunu, which is a 3D single player adventure game. So it's like
Okay,
very mellow, very cutesy.
nice.
Um, not what you was, not what I think people would expect from League of Legends. But again, I have like zero input on like lore and stuff, and apparently League of Legends has a lot of lore, and they really want to expand on that. Hence, Riot Forge. So if Riot Forge, Riot is not the ones making the games; they're just publishing games and asking developers to make um, n- like not necessarily narrative driven games, but games that add to the lore of League of Legends.
Mm, okay. Nice.
So I think technically most of these games, especially the ones that are story driven, are canon to the League of Legends lore. How that works,
Don't
I have no idea.
don't no don't care.
Same here. I mean,
Yeah.
Convergence looks like a really cool game because it has like this time rewind kind of feature in it. So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
Um, Hextech Mayhem looks interesting enough as a rhythm game, although they're calling it like a music game. Sure. Um, yeah, it looks interesting enough, and they finally showed off more of their 2D fighting game
Oh,
that they
nice.
announced. Like I think 2 years ago at EFO, like they announced that they were working on a League of Legends fighting game, but it was really super early, and it's still relatively early. That game is not coming out until at least 2023.
Oh, damn.
But from what they showed off, it looks interesting enough. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a assist based 2D fighter. So think Marvel versus Capcom ish kind of fighting system, or Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. If you've played, or if you've seen, or if you've played that, if you've seen or played that, that's kind of what that is. Also, they have people from that games on their team as well. So it looks interesting, and they really are putting their best foot forward with those games. So let's see how that turns out. Again, I'm not a big Riot fan, but it looks interesting enough.
Nodding and smiling. Nodding and smiling.
And I think that's it for at least news, unless you have anything else that came to you.
You don't want to talk about Activision?
Oh my gosh, we actually forgot about that one. Cool, because I kind of had that lock stocked and loaded, and then we got into a whole bunch of stuff, and I kind of forgot that we were still going to talk about the most vile man in the game industry.
At the moment.
Yeah, fripping Bobby Kotick. Man, I honestly, legit, I did not believe that I could like dislike a person more than I already did Bobby Kotick. But the stuff that we learned this past couple of days, I don't
it's
even know where to begin.
it's intense.
I mean, we've talked about like how like
This is
corrupt
becoming like
corporate.
our new Stadia that we talk
Oh
about
no,
for episodes.
it's not gonna be our new Stadia because like we're gonna bring this home. Like right now, like I already told you at the beginning before we started recording. I am going to will the crap out of the fact that he gets fired because this dude is so corrupt and evil
Yeah.
on levels that I did not even expect was possible
Yeah,
for
it's
someone who runs a company like that. Because I remember back in the day when he still did like interviews and he talked about game developers like they're just tools and like, oh yeah, we're just gonna run them rapid and we're gonna do crunch and I don't care, money. And then
he's a
then
very
he
rich
basically
man.
was told to never speak again in public.
Yep.
So he like basically disappeared from like the game the game journalism altogether. Like I don't think like outside of interviews like with CNBC or any kind of like business,
Bloomberg maybe.
Bloomberg, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll give an interview of like how well Call of Duty is doing or whatever. Like he gives a crap except for the money.
Yeah.
This dude is evil, man. Like we talked about this before when the allegations first came out that when it comes to like leadership and stuff like this pertain like being rampant in the company, that if you're not looking at it from the top down, you're not looking at where the corruption is coming from. And in this in this case, the corruption was legit from the top down
Yeah.
because he got involved with like cover-ups, also being accused of other stuff and settling it out of court. Like people that like are harassers, like covering for them. It is insane. Like apparently one time, I don't good grief, hang on, I want to get this right because it is so ridiculous. Ah,
While
damn
you
it,
look
I don't
that
really have
up,
it in here. I don't really.
Sony's PlayStation's CEO Jim Ryan and Xbox head Phil Spencer all both came out last week, and they I know in Jim Ryan's case, he sent an email to everyone at PlayStation saying, "We condemn these kind of actions. We're actually shocked and surprised that there hasn't been done more to remedy this situation. We're shocked that the board is backing um, Bobby Kotick. We do not condone this type of behavior, and we are seriously reconsidering if we need to continue this partnership or not. Because Sony has, of course, a partnership which they get like all DLC for Call of Duty 2 weeks earlier than on Xbox. And he also said like, hey, if there's anything going on like that within our company, I expect you to come up to me and tell me about it so we can deal with it in the proper way instead of putting it away. And Phil
Yeah,
Spencer said something similar, and that's a big thing. I mean, the fact that two of your biggest uh, customers basically come out and say, "Hey, what you're doing is not okay. We do not accept this behavior, and we want you to stop. And preferably, we just want you to go." That I mean, that means something, And
yeah.
I'm just shocked.
The
Yeah,
yeah. No, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just shocked that the board is still backing Bobby Kotick in this situation.
Yeah, and the thing is, like these two emails that you're talking about, these were not public emails. These were internal
Yeah,
communications that got leaked out.
yeah,
So it's not like they openly said that we're condemning this, but clearly they are. But they
yeah,
wanted to address it within their companies first,
yeah,
with their employees first, because I think that is important. That you need to, um, like in these kind of situations, especially when they're like a partner that you're working with, I'm sure that your employees would be like, well, we're working with them, is everything okay, like what's our stance? So I
yeah.
think that's why those communiques came out, that is what they said. And I give them kudos because like this stuff is like so I the board thing makes even less sense. Okay, so there is a group of board members that are also now requesting Bobby Kotick to be ousted.
But that's only
So there are,
1%.
but it's way too small.
Yeah, it's only one
That's
percent.
way too small, which makes I know that like you want your money, but Bobby Kotick is not why you get your money.
Nope.
If Bobby Kotick is really why you get your money, then
I mean, like, even if he goes away, his successor will still bring in loads of money because they have
yeah,
very popular franchises. So it's not like if he goes, the money goes. It's like,
exactly.
yeah, I mean, like, you might actually make more money because the company gets a better reputation out of it. And you might actually start making original IP instead of milking out your existing IP.
Yeah. Yeah. So where was I? Yeah. So I was looking it up, and so this was I'm just gonna read it verbatim so that like it's 100% clear what it is. So the Wall Street Journal published another scathing report of misconduct by Activision Blizzard leadership. Speaking with numerous current and former employees, the Wall Street Journal accuses CEO Bobby Kotick of covering up harassment for years. In the case of a Sledgehammer, developer reported that she was mm, the R word twice
What?
in like two separate years, by her supervisor, no less. Kotick chose to not take any action against the accused while also keeping the information from the board of directors. So the board of directors was not informed by this,
Oh, damn.
which, again, the SEC is investigating this kind of stuff.
Holy shit.
Um, Activision reached a settlement with the employee after she contacted the police and threatened to sue. So this
Wow.
was like an out of court settlement. In another case, HR investigated and recommended that Dan Bunting to be fired as co-head of Treyarch for sexually harassing an employee.
Did it happen?
According to Wall Street Journal sources, Kotick personally intervened to make sure he kept his job.
Okay.
Yeah, again, when they say that corruption is from the top, this is what they mean.
Yeah, it's
And there's like more stuff, but it's like on Wall Street Journal, so it's like under a paywall, so
yeah.
it's kind of hard to get to. So if you do have Wall Street Journal, that is like super duper detailed in there, and I'm pretty sure it's like at least worth the read
I'm
to
shocked.
just like get into like. So you didn't even hear about that one, did you?
No,
Like
I
that
didn't.
accusation?
No.
Yeah, there was also an accusation that he threatened an assistant, like in a voicemail that he was going to
That one
have
I
her
did hear. Yeah, that
killed.
yeah, that one I
And then
hear.
apparently, like a spokesperson said that, oh yeah, he apologized and it was said a lot of quote, blah blah
But
blah.
like
Like,
that, you don't do just. I mean, like the fact that you do that is already weird. It's like not normal to do that.
yeah, like apologize, like that still doesn't make it right.
That's
Like,
like fear of death that happens, and then like, oh, I'm
exactly.
sorry, I did that, and then I was like, oh yeah, water under the bridge, no problem. You just threatened me. That's okay. Like it doesn't go away like that.
Yeah. So when these allegations came out, you can imagine they staged another walkout. They did one before earlier this year.
Yep.
They did so again as soon as the allegations came out, both virtually and at the Blizzard HQ.
Yep.
Um, so honestly, and they're just like, dude, yeah, this had dude gotta go, like he gotta
Yeah.
go. I just, oh my goodness gracious me, I don't know. This guy is. I didn't again, like I said before, I did not know that there could be someone this evil in the game industry, but Bobby Kotick is truly the final boss of the game industry because
Uh, like
like
a raid in World of Warcraft.
dude, bring on the raid, man. Bring on the raid to take down Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
I am calling to arms right now. If you're, I know we have a small listenership, but I hope that more people do find their way to the articles about Bobby Kotick and just demand this dude get get just ousted from the company. And also anybody else that is still remaining there that is responsible for any kind of harassment and letting this corrupt environment persist at Activision Blizzard, out all of them, like flush leadership, start fresh. Because
Yep.
remember how Alan Bracht got fired
Yeah.
after the first allegations came out, and there were two replacements. One of them was Jennifer O'Neill. Yeah, she left. I
I
think we
know.
talked about
We
it
talked the
the
last
last
episode.
time,
Yeah.
but we didn't talk about why because it wasn't
It
made
wasn't clear.
public.
Yeah.
It wasn't clear. Now we know is because when she and good grief, where's his name? Oh, it's not. When she and the other guy took over, I forgot his name. I think it was like a former Microsoft dude. Um, when they took
Brad.
over, they figured, okay, you know what? We are going to make sure that the issues are addressed in terms of like harassment and stuff like that. Did not get addressed
It's funny you
at
mentioned
all.
that because I heard the other day, or I read in an article that the situation within Ubisoft hasn't improved as well since their stuff happened
That is
last year.
so. That also like they don't talk about it, and it hasn't come up.
Nope.
It's come up a few times, but that also makes no sense.
Yep.
I don't know how Ubisoft has been able to sweep it over under the rug. I'm assuming the Activision Blizzard stuff has like kind of usurped it in the news
Yeah.
stream. But that is also weird. Like
Yep.
nobody has checked up on Ubisoft and seen like how it goes. And you know, Ubisoft has the Ubisoft Connect, and they try to be like, oh yeah, we are way more better about this, and we take it seriously. And then you get Yves Guillemot talking about it in his French accent, and okay,
We have
that is
addressed all these issues, and it is a
okay.
better place
That
to
is
work at Ubisoft.
okay. That may have sounded slightly racist, and I apologize for that.
I do not mean it
But
in that way. He just has a really cool
n-
accent. I'm jealous of that accent.
But still doesn't take away the fact that again, corruption is from the top down, and Yves Guillemot has still not fixed this issue, at least from
Yeah,
the top down.
but I don't know if he's like. I mean,
At this point, you can't say that he's not aware of it because it all came out.
yeah, but like I mean, it could, in Ubisoft's case, it could be like he has mandated everyone within the company, or like he has told his leaders below him, like I want this fixed, I want this issue addressed with, I want this place to be good for everyone, and they're like, yeah, we'll do it. But if they don't do it, And every time he asks them, like, "Hey, what's the deal?" and they're like, "Yeah, it's fine, we fixed it." Then I mean, like, if he's not that involved within the company, I don't blame the guy. But in this case, Bobby Kotick's like, "No, we're not
Oh
gonna fire that
yeah,
dude." I mean, he's like personally involved in it.
yeah, like multiple times too. Jeez,
Yeah.
please. Man, I knew that again. I knew that that dude was evil, but man,
I never liked him in the PS2 era because that was the era where he talked the most, like between the transition from two to
yeah,
three. He was like very vocal. I'm like, this dude, and then eventually he just vanished. I was like, oh, they've probably just fired him, or he quit, or he like, he's
nope,
like,
lurking in the shadows, doing nasty
yeah,
stuff.
he's like a Doctor Evil on his own island with his cat every day, like, and then ha 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 ha, I have made billions, ha ha, but no,
Man, even Doctor Evil was better than that. Sheesh,
yeah,
and he was literally named Doctor Evil.
yeah.
Ah man,
Let's just hope
dude.
that we finally get some justice soon and that this guy gets
Yeah.
kicked out. I mean, like, he's still a rich dude, so maybe that the board can do something about his assets and say, like, hey, all those stock options, we're also taking that away. Because normally when you get fired, you lose those.
No, you don't. Well, if you get fired, sure. But
Yeah.
if they allow him to leave,
But they'll
if he
probably
says,
give him a good severance package because they always do with these
"Oh
people.
yeah, he's getting that golden parachute
Yeah.
regardless,"
Yeah.
and that he kind of should be stripped of that golden parachute.
Nope. Yep.
But not even kind of. He absolutely should be stripped of his golden parachute.
Somebody should just cut the cords of the parachute and then see him jump. See what happens. Not literally.
Not literally,
No.
just monetarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'd still be fine because he still has a
I
lot.
was about to say that because like he's been CEO for like a long time. He has probably millions.
I think it's been maybe over 20 years now.
Probably.
Because he's been like the accusation of like the that he's gonna get the assistant killed is from like 16 years ago.
Yeah, I know. It's like he's been there for a long time.
Yeah. Hmm. And hopefully when it happens, Activision Blizzard will be better for it. Because right now, the tainted, man.
Yeah.
That brand is more tainted than Rockstar is right now, and Rockstar is pretty tainted right now.
Rockstar had these type of issues as well last year or 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
So yeah.
It's like a trend that like it's okay as a dude to harass a woman because you're like a game developer. I'm like, this is not a frat community. We are just normal
No,
people. We need to treat everybody with respect. No, does mean
absolutely.
no. It's like with the riot stuff that we talked about. I think last year or the year before,
3 years ago,
three
dude.
years ago.
It's been
Is
three
it?
years now.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's
Uh,
we're going on our fourth year next year, man.
oh my god. Oh, has it been that long? But like
Yeah,
there as well, like that they had this retreat, and then they had this. Somebody came up with the phrase "no means yes," and then they kind of used that within the company, and then female workers like said like, why are we using this, because this is really offensive and this does not make us feel comfortable. It's like, oh, but it's a joke, you can get behind it.
yeah.
I'm like, no, that stuff is not funny.
Nah, that doesn't fly, man. Seriously,
No.
if you're doing stuff like that, man, either stop it or GDFO, because
Yeah.
that is absolutely unacceptable.
Yep, exactly.
Um, did we ever figure out if Riot got its act together?
I don't know because it was never talked about. But
I
seeing
think there
as,
was I think there was a follow up back in 2019
yeah,
that it kind of was and kind of isn't. They fixed at least the arbitration part of people's contracts
yeah,
because people couldn't go into arbitration. That was part of the reason why. I think they fixed that so that people could go into arbitration. So I think now that people are liable, or more specifically, the company can be liable. I think it's stopped at Riot, or they're way more sneakier now.
I know that the situation in Rockstar has improved. So yeah,
That's good. That's good, and I hope it continues to I hope it's like completely gone now, or at least continues to improve. Either way, man, like this
yeah,
kind of stuff is just unacceptable.
definitely.
Yeah.
And on
Well, that
that
was our
note, we will be right
yes.
back with what we've been playing.
Stick around. And And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the second segment, which is, of course, as always, what we've been playing. Sean Templar, what have you been playing?
Were you gonna say Sean Templar or something? Because
I don't know.
it's.
I think I made a little flub, but I think I kind of fixed it, and then you brought it up
I have been playing a few games lately. So I finished Death Stranding, and
again.
again, yeah,
The definite, the director's cut.
the director's cut. Yes, it was.
Oh, seriously, sir.
I mean, I enjoyed the game in 2019. I enjoyed it this time. I have to say, this time around, I did get to the point where I'm like, oh, can this be over, please? Because there are just some parts of the game, like in the middle part, where you have to go over those snowy mountains. I just,
Ye-
those are just so annoying.
Yeah, the
Because you,
snowy part is like really annoying.
yeah, that's really annoying. I really did not like that part. What I loved about the game is those battlefield moments you have with Cliff, which when you're in
Hmm.
World War I, in World War II, and in the Vietnam War. I really feel like they should make a game out of that. Like do a prequel with Cliff or something, and then since the game's already be wacky and paranormal, just go all in on that. And just do like a journey of Cliff or something, or with Higgs or something. Because I really feel that there's so much more in this universe they can do.
Mm.
And yeah, rumor has it that there's a sequel on the way, but who knows? I mean, I played the game for the second time, and I still don't know what the story's about. Uh, yeah, but yeah, after that,
I'm not gonna spoil it, but I mean, it's when you start the game, it's not obvious, but
yeah,
when you get to the point where they start explaining what it is about, then
yeah,
it's like, oh, okay, that
yeah,
makes absolutely no sense, but I get it.
yeah. And when that's the power of the game, that it's just so weird that it sucks you in, and everybody's like, I want to know what this is about, Because like
Yeah.
everyone I've spoken to that hasn't played the game and then starts playing the game, they're like, yeah, it's so weird, and I just wanted to know what it was all about. Um, but yeah, after the Death Stranding, I started playing Yakuza 3. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm like in chapter 9, and there's 12 chapters, so I'm
Okay. Wow.
almost done with it. You can really notice that they didn't. So like Yakuza 1 and 2 were remade into
Hmm.
Kiwami 1 and 2, and they use the graphics engine of one of the recent ones, so you can really see that they went
They
back.
used the one from Zero, I want to say.
I'm not sure which one, but like you can really see that it's a really pretty game, and they really put the effort into it. And with 3, and I think with some of the others probably as well, 3 was a PS3 game. You can really see that they remastered it, so like up the resolution, a little bit more textures, blah blah blah. It didn't get like the full treatment, so you can
Hmm.
really notice that. And it has these random encounters like in Final Fantasy, where you're just walking around and then you just get a random encounter with an enemy. It has that as well. It had it in the previous 2 as well, but there you could at least see it on the map, and you could just run away from it if you don't want to. But
Hmm.
here is like literally like those Final Fantasy moments that there's like, hey, yeah, blah, 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 I want to fight you, ha ha ha, and then you fight them, and I'm like, yeah, but when you're on the way to your mission, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to fight you, leave me alone. So that is a little bit of an issue I have with the game. But besides that, I
Mm.
mean, I love the Yakuza games. I mean, it's just crazy characters. Majima is like a completely wacko guy. I love him. Um, yeah, I'll probably after I finish this one, I'll probably go on with 4, and then with 5, and with 6, and how it goes. I really want to play Judgment as well. So, strangely enough, that one is not on sale in the PlayStation Store right now because of Black Friday. But the sequel, Lost Judgment, is on sale. So I was like, this makes no
Mm.
sense at all.
That is
Um,
weird.
yeah, so that, and then I also bought Far Cry 6 in the Black Friday sale. I got a
Ooh, oh
good
yeah,
deal on
that is
that.
like 45 euros now.
Yeah, it went from 70 to 49. So I was like, "Wow, that's an okay price." And I might pick up some other games. I saw that Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut was 60 now. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm willing to pay 60 for that now."
Oh, for the PlayStation 5 version.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because I still want to play the Iki Island expansion, and Ratchet and Clank is also 60. So, I might buy that one as well. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
And I'm going to buy The Last of Us 2 digitally because I want to stream that eventually. So, but anyways, um I've been playing Far Cry 6.
Hmm.
It's been a long time since I played a Far Cry game. So the last one I played was 4, and I really loved 3, and 4 felt like 3, but with a reskin, and that's why I just didn't even finish it. And then I skipped out on 5. I skipped out on like all the ones that came after it because every time I got excited and I looked at the reviews, were like, "This is just a reskin." And with this, it still has that feeling, but the funny part is you can really notice the influences of other Ubisoft games in it. Like I've had a few instances in which I was like, yeah, this is not an original mechanic. This is from that Ubisoft game, or this is from that Ubisoft game, or this is from that Ubisoft game. But I'm like, in the end, it's not. I think not weird that they do it because you have all this experience in house. So, and 9 out of 10 times, it's the same studios that do it. So they'll carry over some stuff like, oh yeah, maybe we should do the towers from Assassin's Creed to unlock the map.
I
Yeah, we
was
should definitely
about to
do
bring
that.
that up.
Yeah, it's
Are the Towers of
no, no, no,
Assassin's
no,
Creed
no.
in
It's
there?
not in
Okay.
it. No, but it's for example, there is this I don't know which game, but that's also from Ubisoft game. Oh, that's from Ghost Recon. So you can grab your cell phone and then you can just scan the environment or look around in the environment, and if there's enemies or other points of interest, it will automatically mark them. So it's like that's from Ghost Recon because you can just throw your drone out, and then when your drone spots an enemy, it automatically marks him. And there's this.
I think Immortals Phoenix Rising does that too.
It could
Kind of,
be
sort of.
because what happens is this: you have this, you get into an area with enemies, and then there's this red fog. And the more enemies you spot with your camera or you identify yourself, the clearer the fog becomes. And when you've identified everybody, then there's no fog anymore on the minimap. So I'm like,
Ah.
that's Ghost Recon. And they also have like weapon customization and weapon gear sets and leveling. I'm like, that's also Ghost of Ghost Recon or the Division. I'm like, it's fine. It's a fun game. I mean, I'm having fun with it. I'm trying to not judge it by the fact that it's just a reskin or it feels like that. I mean, it has a cool story so far. There's these fun little things in it, like when you sometimes when you're driving in the car and the radio is on, your
Mhm.
character Danny Roas will just start to sing along, which is like really
Oh,
fun. Like it's
cool.
a really cool small things. In typical Ubisoft fashion, the game has issues like bugs, but it's less than other games. So it's not game
Mm.
breaking. So it's not Assassin's Creed Valhalla level. But you can see in some cutscenes that the frame rate is off, so it stutters a bit. Or I had a mission where it bugged with one of the characters that I had to follow them. They had to lead me through the mission, and then it bugged, and they were constantly in the same room, just walking in circles. And I'm like, great. And then I tried to kill the character and revive it, but that didn't fix it. I'm like, you know what? Let me just reload the freaking save, and that worked. Or I had today an instance in which I was burning crop duster planes down, and then I tried to get into one to fly away, and then there was like the wreckage of the previous plane in front of me, so I didn't know if I was gonna go through it or if it was an object it would detect. So it just went against it, and then it sort of got launched into the air, and then I was suddenly in the air flying. I'm like, oh, okay, this is
Oh
cool.
no.
Yeah, or I had one with a pistol. Then I shot an enemy, and it was like I shot him with a cannon. It just flew away. Like, yeah.
Man, that sounds like classic Skyrim
Yeah.
bugs.
I was like,
Oh no, I got
whoa.
hit by the giant troll and I'm flying through the air now.
Yeah, it's funny to see it, but it's not game breaking. It's like these
No,
small things. I'm like, I'm okay with this. I mean, when I really wanted to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I deliberately didn't buy it at launch, but bought it like in December because it was uh
on discount.
yeah, I bought it in January. It was in discount, and I knew like a couple of patches had come out, so I know like it was okay. Funny thing, a friend of mine is playing it, and he sent this video that when he does something specifically, he just gets launched out of the level. So I was like, "Oh, that's still in the game? Okay, wow, that's almost like a year after launch, and there's still a bug like that in the game."
Okay, that's
Yeah.
weird.
Um. Yeah. So that Far Cry 6, I mean, it's a huge open world. It's really fun. It has co-op. I haven't tried the co-op yet, but I got a couple of friends who have it, so we'll probably co-op it. It's cool to see that you can customize your weapons, you can upgrade your weapons, and like enemies, you have different enemy types that are vulnerable to different types of ammunition, for example. So there
Mhm.
are some enemies that have armor, so you need to use weapons that have armor piercing rounds. You can add different types of ammo to all weapons, but you can only change that at a workbench because otherwise it would probably be overpowering. Um, it has a lot of weapons in it, and there's also like normal levels that you the weapons that you can customize,
Mm-mm.
and there is also like unique legendary weapons that already have all sorts of stuff and tricked out, so that's cool. You have these cool companions. One is Guapo, which is a crocodile, and you can order him around and you can pet him.
I love Guapo.
Yeah, yeah, and the other
Wait,
one,
which one? The other one is the dog, right?
yeah, that's Chorizo. I got him now. So he's like, you can hear his wheels squeak when he's running around. So it's really funny. And like,
Which
he's
one
a,
is your favorite so far?
I only have the two, but Chorizo's got to be my favorite so far because he's like this little dog. And then sometimes you're just marking enemies and you see him walking off on its own and he's just trying to kill an enemy by himself. And then you see the enemy trying to throw Chorizo off, because it's like this little dog biting an enemy. Um, yeah, and the antagonist is of course Anton Castillo, who's played by oh wow, I forgot his name.
Juan Esposito.
Yeah, Juan Esposito. I always call him Gus from Los Polos Hermanos from Breaking Bad. So, but he has a really good performance. He's like really, really. I would almost say it's a Voss level because like Voss from Far Cry 3 is like the best
Yeah.
boss or the craziest boss, but he has like this same level. I really like him. Um, and he just appears in random moments, so that makes it really fun. So that's good, and that's basically it. And then I'm also been able to play some Battlefield because I got like the EA access, so I got like 10 hours earlier access to the game. I haven't bought it yet on PlayStation because I was a little bit afraid that the game might be in a rough state, which it is. Just to be clear, it is a rough diamond. If it's polished enough, it will be an amazing game because I have had really fun moments in the game so far. But
All right. Fair. Fair.
last week on Thursday, the day one patch came out, which fixed a lot of stuff. So that's a good thing. And I mean, like, I'm still excited about it, like the plus system where you can switch weapon customization on the fly. The funny thing is I haven't really found a 2042 map that I have really click with because the maps are really big because it's 128 people, and because of that, you do get more of those instances in which you just walk or run a lot and you just get killed randomly. When you play all out warfare, if you play breakthrough, the level is of course chopped into sectors, so the map is a bit more condensed, so it's a little bit more easier. But funnily enough, I've had the most fun with the portal mode because the portal mode is
I think most
basically,
people have.
yeah, so the portal mode just gives you Battlefield 3, Bad Company 2, 1942, and 2042, and then you can just use everything. And I played a lot of matches of VIP Fiesta, it's called. So you have like both teams have a VIP. You need to kill the VIP 15 times to win, and it's World War II versus Bad Company 2. And you would say that the Bad Company 2 guys have a clear advantage, but they don't. There's like a real good balance in there. So I've killed like a lot
Mm,
of enemies as a World War II soldier. Because if you die, you get a random kit. So you have like a
yeah.
shotgun or a machine gun or a bazooka. And like I've had instances in which I had a bazooka and then I was like just finding VIP because he gets marked on the map, so you know where he is. And I would just randomly run around, and I would just see him in the distance. I was like, just try it, and pop, shoot with my bazooka, and then bam, he would die. And then 2 seconds later, there's one spawning next to me. I'm like, he's mine. And then I would just go around with my bazooka, blowing up all these VIPs, or I would switch to my pistol. I had these genuine Battlefield moments where you're like, switching
Yeah.
to your pistol, bah, 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 oh crap, I gotta reload, and then you hit the ground, and then you hope they don't kill you. I mean, like I've had a lot of fun in VIP Fiesta, and I just really hope they add more maps because
Can't you
there
do custom stuff in portals?
you can, but there's like based on the maps they have. So I want maps like in Battlefield 3, you had a couple of maps like Operation Metro or Santa Crossing. Like I like these urban maps, so I really hope they add those maps. But so far, I'm having a lot of fun in Portal. I am gonna wait to because Dice has said that they're gonna release two big patches in the next month. So I'm gonna wait for those to come out, and then I'll probably buy it on PS5 because I've been playing it on PS4 on PC now. Um, but with a game like that, I mean, like I'm playing it on 2560p and medium settings. But
Hmm.
with that, I want to be able to play it in 4K 60 FPS, and on PS5 it is 4K 60 FPS. You just want to enjoy the beauty of the game,
Mm.
and that's just basically it. So I hope the patches come out fast. I'm excited, and that's all that I have been playing. So what have you been playing?
You played a lot, dude.
I know. I was shocked myself that I played this much.
I, on the other hand, have only been playing one game and one game only: Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Happy Home Paradise. I actually, and I'm really disappointed in myself that I did this, but I was just way too into the DLC. But I finished the main DLC. So
Oh,
like I rolled credits, which
oh,
I first of all did not know that you could do. Um but you can. And I did it off stream.
oh.
So I'm kind of disappointed in myself, mostly because of our good old buddy Liam was
Mm.
like, "Hey, there's something waiting for you once you've reached this point." I kind of wish he's told me that it was the end of the flipping game, so that I would have hold off for it.
Oh,
Because he was like, "Oh, you're gonna be really surprised by it," and I was really surprised by it, and it was really fun. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm pretty sure if you Google it, you'll find it. But I really enjoyed it. It was really cool. It was like I was completely caught off guard by it, and was so fun to see. I was like, "Oh, this is a really cool way to essentially end the DLC." But afterwards, you can still decorate vacation homes. And I've gotten basically all the upgrades that I can use on my island. So I can make pillars, I can make partition walls, I can make like these islands, like the short ones and the medium height ones that you see in homes sometimes. Like they have like these island partitions, and I can now redecorate the houses for my villagers, which is nice. Except I can't increase the size of their homes, which really sucks because I kind of wanted that to be a thing that I can do so that I can like pimp out their houses. And now you kind of can't, you can change it, but it's still like this 4x4. I think, no, sorry. Not I think it's 4x4 sized apartments. And it's really tiny. I mean, you can do a lot of creative stuff with it, but at the same time, it's like, kind of wish I had more space to work in, so
yeah.
that you can really take advantage of the space.
Mm.
Meh, c'est la vie. Take what you get. Um,
I saw you visited some people.
yes, I did
Yeah.
during a stream, no less. So I visited Liam's Island, obviously,
Nice.
which is this beautiful Japanese-inspired island with like a
So
7-Eleven and
serene.
like it is so beautiful. Like, gosh darn it, like respect to Liam. And then there was this other guy who was on the stream, and he was like, "Hey, I want to share mine too. Do you want to visit my island?" I was like, "Okay, sure." Gosh darn it, I kind of forgot his name right now. My apologies.
Is it Ling Ling?
Um, no, no, it wasn't Ling
Oh.
Ling. Ling Ling. I did not visit Ling Ling's island. I did visit Kyo the Lynx's island when she was streaming.
Oh, nice.
And Ling Ling was there, so we both were on her island, and she visited my island, and I gave her and Ling Ling a bunch of money, and they were super surprised. But I was like, "Oh, I can't take this money." I'm like, "Take it! I literally have millions of bells. Just take it."
Oh, wow. Look
And
at you being a high roller, just giving
whenever
money
someone
away.
visits my, I was kind of worried that I would run out of money with the updates, and then I didn't. So I still had a bunch of money, and I made even more money afterwards on the stock exchange. So it's like I have all this money. I don't really do a lot with it because now I'm just focused on getting gyroids, which are these cool little figures that make a musical instrument noise. And there's like a bunch of different ones. And the cool thing about them is if you put them in a room, they will harmonize with one another and make music.
Oh, that's nice.
If you have music playing in the room, they will harmonize with the music playing in the room. And some of like I posted one on my Instagram, which if you're not following me at Maximilian_X, um,
Shameless plug.
shameless plug. I posted a video of my apartment, and like I have a bunch of gyroids on the wall, and they're just jamming with KK House, which is one of the songs.
Mm.
And it just sounds so cool because the song itself is pretty cool, but the harmonizing with the gyroids is just, it brings it to the next level.
Okay, wow.
So I've just been collecting gyroids every single day. I go to the mysterious island. You can get one gyroid fragment. I take it home with me. I bury it in the ground. I give it water, and then a gyroid comes out of it the next day. If it rains on your island, you can actually find gyroids on your island, which is nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is in context of like previous games. If it rained, you could find more gyroids, but if it didn't rain, you'd find just one gyroid. But now the way they did it in New Horizons is that you'll when it rains, you will find a gyroid fragment which you have to rebury and rewater. Unless it's raining, then you don't have to. It does it automatically, obviously. And you'll find a whole gyroid that's just ready out of the ground that you can put in your
Oh,
house.
nice.
So that's really nice. I've done some redecorating in my house and some redecorating on my island. I have a bunch of farms now where I grow wheat, sugarcane, tomatoes, carrots, and what's the other one? Potatoes. And you can make recipes, and you can well, not make recipes, obviously. You make food items out of them, and you can collect recipes to like create food items. And sometimes if you get a certain item, like for example, if you catch a certain fish, and you can turn it into a dish, like your villager will be like, hey, I think I can make insert food item here. And it's like, you learned how to make this food. I was like, oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, like I caught a red snapper when on day one of the deal of the patch, and it says like, "Oh, you just got a red snapper. Hey, I think I can make like this, this dish out of it. Hey, you learned to make this dish with the red snapper. It's like, oh, cool.
That's cool.
Yeah." So Animal Crossing New Horizons has been taking up a lot of my time, both online and offline, and both on stream and off stream. Pokemon Diamond, Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl recently released. I bought that Brilliant Diamond. I have yet to play Brilliant Diamond.
I I heard and I was shocked. I am thinking about getting one of the two, but my Switch has been gathering dust for months. So
Look, you know what? If you do decide to pick it up, fine. Let's play it together then, because then
is there co-op
we
in
can
it?
trade stuff. No, it's not co-op, but you can
Oh,
trade stuff,
oh, that's nice.
and that's kind of the whole point of Pokemon. That's always been the case. If you do, please pick up Pearl, so that we can do some trades.
I'll try.
Uh, Outside of that, if you don't pick it up, it's fine. I think one of our friends, our friend the cat mama Cozy, she has Pearl, so I should do some trades with her. So
Cool. Yeah, she's been playing it for a couple of for days now, from what I
couple of
understand.
days, she's been telling me like, you gotta play. It's like,
Yeah,
I'll get to it, easy. I'll
yeah,
get to it. Yeah, so it's been kind of weird, the fact that that's the only thing I've been playing so far,
that's
because
okay.
it's like, I mean, it's fine, but I did not expect to be into like the DLC, like the update. I was like, I'm into the update because of the gyroids. I
Hmm.
did not expect to enjoy the ever loving crap out of the Happy Home Paradise DLC. I did not expect it. I thought like, I'll just do it to get the upgrade stuff, but like just doing a stream or off stream and just like designing a home for like a half hour. It's just so much fun and so zen. And I've never felt more relaxed playing a video game than I do with playing Happy Home Paradise.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, and considering the fact that Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp got delayed till spring next year, I don't have anything to end the year on. I might pick up Shin Megami Tensei 5, but I want to finish Persona 5 first, which I also still need to get back to. So I think I'm gonna do that in between like Animal Crossing. So I'm gonna get back to Persona 5 Royal, finish that. Once that's finished, I'll pick up Shin Megami Tensei 5 and do that because that game is like ballers. It's a very pretty game for the Switch, and it's a very good JRPG.
Nice.
So I think that is it.
That's it.
At least that's it. That's all that I've been playing. So,
Awesome.
Sean Templar, will you do the honors?
I will try. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Game Rivals. As always, we really appreciate your support. Um, Please consider subscribing, rating, reviewing our podcast on all available platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Overcast, Google Play, Podcast, you name it, we're probably there. Don't forget to, if you're a Spotify listener, to participate in the question that Maximilian always posts there. Um, if you do, we'll feature you on the podcast. You can find us on YouTube as well. We'll put the link in the description because we're not the only game rivals out there on YouTube, unfortunately. But the episode always goes live the same time the audio version goes live. So if you want to look at our pretty faces, then this is your chance. So,
Unless
um,
you're already her, so hi.
yeah. We can reach us through email, gamerivalsfeedback@gmail.com. We're on Twitter, game underscore rivals underscore. Again, another Game Rivals has taken the at Game Rivals handle, so that's why we have that. You can find Maximilian on Twitter as well, at Maximilian.
Mhm.
You can find us on Instagram at Game Rivals and at Maximilian underscore X. We both stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Maximilian underscore X.
Mhm.
Yes. So what are you going to stream next?
My next stream is probably going to be more Animal Crossing because that is just the Zen thing right now.
Mm.
But if I am pushed to it, or if people convince me, I might do Pokemon. But what I might actually stream is Burnout Paradise because I got that on the cyber deals for Black Friday on
Oh, that's
Switch,
nice. Burner Paradise is
and it
really
oh
cool.
my god, I miss Burnout Paradise
Oh,
so much.
I
As
love it.
soon as the Guns N' Roses song kicked in, I was like, ah, I was banging my head. I
Yeah,
was like, yes, let's
yeah.
go.
I love that game.
Oh man, and it's the ultimate version that got released a couple of years ago that got remastered.
Oh,
So it
nice.
has everything on the like all the DLC stuff is unlocked, like the big surf island.
Mm.
You can go there immediately. The first thing I did was after I did some missions is go to the garage and get the Back to the Future inspired
Oh,
car.
nice,
So it has the floating mode. It's a car, and I love stunt cars because you can do a lot of cool stunts with them. I was
nice.
never like because she had different classes. She had like the oh, I actually did play that. Yeah, forgot to mention that.
Now you do.
Um, yeah, no, I did. So yeah, I might stream that and just have a cool, chill Burnout Paradise stream. But I'm definitely going to be streaming more Animal Crossing.
Nice, nice.
What will you be streaming when you come back?
I'm thinking about doing a stream again this week because I just couldn't because of Formula One and I wasn't feeling well and that sort of stuff. So I am thinking about maybe doing Uncharted 2 because I don't want to do another open world game because it's just so intense sometimes.
Hmm.
I have a few on my list that I want to stream, but for now I want to be more like a single player narrative game. So I might do Uncharted 2. If someone else has some recommendations, I'm happy to hear it. I'm just looking for something smaller. Maybe I heard that Batman, the Telltale games are really cool and also a bit easy to get through. So I might do those. I haven't decided yet, but if I can't find anything, I'll probably do Uncharted 2 because I just love those games.
Sweet.
Yeah, and that's basically it. On that note,
Oh, there's one more thing. The question
oh
of the
yeah,
episode.
the question of the
And the
episode.
question and the question of these in the episode, I thought about it, and um, I think this was one that I think everybody
If you could
might,
fire Bobby Kotick, would you do it? Is that the question?
not. I don't even think that that's a question. I think everybody would just say yes. But my question would be, um, do you think outside of Bobby Kotick needing to be ousted, do you think Activision can recover from this?
That yeah. Okay, that's a good
Because
question.
I think at this point it's almost an inevitability.
I
They
think they
like
can.
they have to their hand will be forced to do
Yeah,
so, regardless of the support that he's getting from investors.
yeah.
Um, the question is, can Activision itself change
Y-
after
y-
that?
But here's my prediction, and I hope it doesn't happen that way for the wrong reasons, but for the right reasons. But I feel that they're gonna kick him out, Bobby Kotick, and then they're going to install or appoint a new female CEO, and then she's gonna have to reform the company. But I hope that they pick a female CEO not because she's a female and they just want to say put her on a poster and say like, we had a bad dude and he did a lot of bad shit and he condoned a lot of bad shit. Now we have a woman because look how good and inclusive and diverse we are. Because I mean, like, they need to pick a woman because they believe in her and they want her to change the company, not for some public PR stunt. Because you know that when the companies do that, I would just get mad because I'm like, it's not
Yeah,
fair for the woman, it's not fair for other people. You're just trying to fix your image. You're not genuinely believing in this cause. But I hope they do. And then I just, I think, I mean, Call of Duty is a huge franchise and people will keep on buying that and playing that, especially if the rumors are true and we're getting Modern Warfare 2 next year. I mean, a lot of people are going to put their money onto in that basket. So, I think they can recover, but they need to do fundamental change. And they probably will after this.
yeah. At least I'm really hoping for it. Again, willing it into existence right here. All
um,
right, and on that note,
yeah, on that note, I have been and always will be Sean Templar.
and I've always, good grief, what is wrong with me today? I do this every other week. Why am I messing this up?
I don't
I
know.
have been and always will be Maximilian X.
And we will catch you on the next one.
Later.